What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode here on the Oshay Vlogcast channel. I am your host, Oshay Duke Jackson, and today I have the privilege for bringing on the second time one of my favorite YouTubers here in what I would consider, Negro Tube. And the brother basically does not hold his mouth for what he feels. If you want some fuckery, he gonna call you out, and then everybody who's familiar with this brother knows that he don't mind calling it as he sees it. And that's why we love him so much. The one and only Supasly75. What's going on, fam?
Nothing, bro. I'm glad to be here. Thank you once again. Thank you once again.
Yeah, man. I love your stuff, man. Because I remember one time you got my ass. Like, yeah, these motherfuckers are here talking about get the motherfucking likes up and shit. I said, oh, ain't that a bitch? Oh shit. So but anyways, man, I'm glad to have you, man. For those of you who want to subscribe, go ahead and go to the description. You can see his link. But today we're talking about a particular topic that you actually requested that we speak on. And what is that you want to talk about today?
The net neutrality being repealed. I think it's going to affect a lot of Black YouTubers more than people realize. Because I'm not sure if those have already noticed, but this has been coming down the pike for a long time, and they've already started shutting down links to the dark web. And for those that are not familiar with the dark web is, that's where you buy your women, drugs, guns, murders, extortions, all that illegal shit that all goes down in the dark web. That's where Bitcoin was originally used for. So now they're starting to block access to the dark websites, and it's just a matter of time before we came to this conclusion here with the net neutrality being repealed.
Okay, so basically, let's talk about what is, for those people who are coming into the chat and they want to know, what is net neutrality? What would be your definition of what net neutrality? What does it mean to you?
Well, the biggest point of it is basically bandwidth. It's you have these companies, these telecom companies that built these infrastructures, fiber optics, the whole big, with the telephones, they've laid miles and miles of fiber optic cable to run signals on for your programs. What the problem is, you have companies like YouTube, Netflix, Hulu using these bandwidths that these telecom companies have laid out. They spent billions of dollars for this type of infrastructure, and to only get to see pennies on a dollar because of these streaming sites. And you look at it from a business standpoint. If you're a telecom communication company, you're like, no, that's not right, because we laid the foundation and they're using our services for next to nothing, and we can't raise our rates, we can't overcharge people. So now what you're going to have is basically bandwidth is the key. Depending on how much, it depends on your speed of service, your download speeds, upload speeds, clarity of your signals, high def signals, 4K signals. That is going to be prime real estate. So whoever controls the bandwidth basically will set the tone for the internet moving forward. So your Verizons, your Comcast, your Time Warners, anybody that's a telecom communication, you need to keep an eye on them, how they're going to adjust their prices for bandwidth.
Okay, so now that it's been repealed, and because I'm looking at it here, are they saying that? Because I said the FCC voted on Thursday to dismantle rules regulating the businesses that can connect consumers to the internet, granting broadband companies the power. Okay, so now the broadband companies, it's up to them.
Yeah.
Okay. How? So let's talk about YouTube first, and then Black YouTubers. How is it going to affect YouTube overall?
It's gonna cost money to get up to be on YouTube now. Now how we see how YouTube Red has come along, that's nothing. When the telecom companies start charging YouTube to use their bandwidth, of course they must offset the cost onto us, the users, content creators, subscribers, and then what's going to happen is the content creators, to get the premium bandwidth so that the videos look good, doesn't take all day to upload and render their videos, they're going to offset those costs onto their subscribers or their followers and whatnot. So you're going to have a trickle down effect of supplying the money to fund the content creators to be able to purchase the high speed bandwidth. That's this cyclical event that we have going on. Same thing with the cables. That's how we got here with the cables. The cable companies over priced cable bandwidth, whatever, whatnot. And then streaming sites came in for pennies on the dollar, undercut the cables. And this is how we're here.
Okay, let me and shout out to E Hawthorne, just got paid, nigga. I'm balling. Shout out to the $5 super chat, brother. I see you out there pimping. Let's talk about this. Are black YouTubers, in your opinion, are we the only ones that are going to be affected? What about the makeup channels? What's your for those that have softer content? How will they be affected? Do you feel?
Not as much as like the hardcore black YouTubers that kind of try to make a living or make a semi-living off of this.
Okay.
Because if you already have a channel or a page full of donation sites, once you have to start paying for that particular bandwidth fee, of course you're going to be like, okay, I need y'all to support because they may not say it's for offsetting these costly fees for bandwidth, but they'll disguise it as something else. I think it's going to hit us particularly hard as a collective.
Now, is it going to be? Do you feel, because a person like myself, I'm not really so knowledgeable about net neutrality, other than the article that I read. What about YouTubers who are out of the country, like in Europe, in France? Because the FCC is just in America, right?
Correct.
So those of us who are overseas, it may not be any change for us.
Correct.
Yes! I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
Now, but the one thing you need to remember is, as far as with the U.S., people keep saying it could be like China. You're right. It very well could be like China. They can restrict under this repealing. They can restrict your access to the internet or what's put on the internet. It's just not so much bandwidth speeds, but they can actually restrict certain sites, be shut down, or they can even start making you charge you to visit certain sites. I know there was that list they had that was going circulating on the internet because of net neutrality. You won't be able to see Snapchat or Facebook and all, that's nonsensical to a certain extent, but certain sites will, eventually, everyone's going to eat these costs because these telecom companies are going to charge everybody an arm and a leg for the bandwidth. They will hold everybody by the balls when it comes to this internet stuff.
When will this go into effect? Do you know? Or
I personally don't know. I didn't even look that far ahead to see when, if it's going to be a slow or a fast rollout. I'm not even sure which regions they're going to test first. Because what they're going to do is they're going to test certain regions first before they roll it out completely throughout the rest of the country. I'm not sure I haven't seen or heard which regions they're going to test it out first in. So
okay. What I've also heard is like people like Google, Facebook, they're also kind of nervous about this here. Let's talk about the black YouTube content creators in general, because I mean you're a part of the black YouTube. We're kind of making a whole new dynasty over here, because before it was just kind of like Tommy Sotomayor really and a few people. But now black YouTube is more developed. Now you have like the manosphere, the black manosphere in YouTube. You have the flat earth black YouTubers now, and it's more developed. YouTubers are already cracking down on black YouTubers content as it is. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about you as a YouTuber. Have you been affected by YouTube, by just being in black YouTube, by some of the topics you talk about?
Yeah, everything I put up is pretty much demonetized off the bat. So, and I get tired to the point of going to go back and hit the manual review buttons. And then what they do is they'll wait till all the traffic goes out of your video. So then it's slow. So then they'll remonetize it. And then you won't make next to nothing for the video to begin with. So they kill the traffic in the beginning when you first put up your video. It's automatically you get the yellow dollar sign. Yeah.
Okay, so let's also talk about this, because YouTube has changed since last year. Last year, and shout out to Howard Cooper for the $10 super chat, brother. Appreciate you, my man out there in Hawaii, big baller. So he can come back to this, man. Super slide, my my people get me hype and shit. And shout out to Jay Miller Podcast, man. Hit me up, dog, so we can do a show. So listen, now it's different. Like, and Jay Miller, who had like probably one of the best black YouTube channels ever, over 25 million views on that channel. He made a lot of money on that channel, and I did for like 6 months. I made a ton of money off of AdSense. Now we're seeing that it's hard for us to make money. If it's not for the live streams or for the Patreons, a lot of black YouTubers are getting away from AdSense monetization anyway. Should we care about the net neutrality, because we already not getting no money as it is?
Yeah, because here's what I see happening. If you follow pick your 5 favorite YouTube channels, and they're all asking for Patreon money.
Right.
If it's $5 per, that's $25.
Yeah.
And you know, something that's a bill for most people. Maybe that's gas money for some people. Eventually, it may come to a point where we start cannibalizing each other for donations and Patreon subscribers, or because we got to offset these costs for purchasing the good bandwidth speeds or whatnot. Because I follow like 10 of you guys that I routinely follow, and I try and do donations here and there, but then I go back over my monthly statements. I'm like, God damn, I didn't put out $60-$70. I'm like, wait a minute. Right. It becomes a problem, because then you got to start picking and choosing. Mm-hmm. Can I give to this person this month? Next month I can give to this person. And that affects us more than, say, our white counterparts, because they come out in droves to support their own regardless. And like I said before on your last stream, there's a cap when it comes to anything urban. There's a ceiling, and it's rare that we get past that when it comes to financially supporting each other, unfortunately.
Let's talk about that, because you've been one of the YouTubers that have kind of spoken out against donations and stuff like that, how niggas ask for them and stuff like that. Now, this has happened pre-net neutrality, but let's talk about the YouTubers and Black YouTube and how they try to, maybe get people to donate or get people to support. Do you really feel like Black YouTube, there's enough money for everybody over here for the content that we create?
I would say yes, but the reality is, will they spend it? Because also what we're seeing a lot of shaming tactics used by certain YouTubers on their followers to guilt them into giving them money. Like one particular YouTube literally had a 15-20 minute rant because he wasn't getting enough donations. Like, how do you berate the people that support you? So it seems like church. It's turning into church. Mm-hmm. God forbid you go into church and they pass collection plate, you don't put nothing in there. They're gonna look at you like, oh, you're not gonna put in the collection plate. And how many times do they pass around in church? 2 or 3 times in one in one service, if I'm not mistaken, depending on what church you go to. And it just goes to show our weaknesses as a people when it comes to finances and economic empowerment and pushing each other and supporting each other. We got the money all day long. We just spend it on bullshit, truth be told.
Okay, let's talk about this, because I already don't do rants on donations, but I did do a rant about this guy from Very Smart Brothers, Damon Young. I did when he wrote that hit piece on Black men being the heterosexual, the white people of the Black race. And I did respond to Black men don't support their best people so that we can hire by somebody like Damon Young. I did say that. But what do you think that Black, and shout out to Howard Cooper again for the $15 super chat. That nigga must have got paid. What do you think Black YouTubers can do to improve their content pre-net neutrality and post-net neutrality? If you were somebody recognizing this, and you are, what would you tell a YouTuber that's in the game right now that you're getting demonetized? That there's a lot of competition on Patreon. What do you suggest that these YouTubers do to kind of maybe set themselves up?
I would say do not make this your. I would say diversify.
Right.
Like we talked about earlier. Start a blog, start a website, do something. Use YouTube as your platform. YouTube should be your platform, not your only sole means of, putting out information. Because if they shut down the YouTube, then how are people going to find you? Then what do you do? Because a lot of people, YouTube, this is it for them. Mm-hmm. This is their only avenue of, putting out information. We need to diversify and become a little bit smarter and a little bit more wiser, or a little bit more strategic in how we move forward, because, the censorship is real. Like, I don't know if you don't think it's real, get a YouTube channel and talk about something controversial, and you'll see censorship, at its finest. Yeah. So we as a people need to not kind of just learn how to use YouTube as a platform to build into other things. If you're not doing that, you know, it's just a matter of time before you fall by the wayside. I think.
Yeah, no, that's important. Let's go back to the support, because I always talk about, you know, specializing in certain niches. You know, me, I don't do black community YouTube. I do black male YouTube. That's all I do. I'm one of the few people who just do that. And I think because I just only do that and I don't talk about certain things, it maybe help me. Do you feel like maybe some brothers on YouTube could specialize more into a specific niche, and then that way they can just master that particular niche, and then maybe that may help them going forward?
Yeah, perfect example is the Great American Investor,
Yeah, I
Sal.
love that, man.
I love Sal, and I don't understand half the shit he's talking about, but I love listening to him talk because he's into it. It gets me into it. Then I want to learn about penny stocks, and I want to like, okay, let me see what he's talking about. Yeah. There's more than enough facets of life that we're all involved in for us to speak on and not have to not crowd each other's space. Like everyone can have a little niche. Like I said, economics is one thing. Somebody can have clothes and fashion. You know, relationship is kind of getting kind of crowded from what
oh man, I'm about tired of you relationship, man. New week is a nigga with a relationship's a game or something like that.
Yeah, and I think your greatest strength is you are the plug. Like if I can't get it, I know Oshay knows somebody that got it. You know, so like you are like the central hub for everything. You know, like, and that's hard to mimic. That's hard to sustain, and you have done it by far better than anyone that's come on YouTube in the last 10, 15 years that I've seen. Like if it ain't coming through Oshay, if Oshay don't put his stamp on it, we ain't fucking with it. To be honest with you.
Yeah,
you know.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. You about to make a nigga cry in this motherfucker. But let me just do this real quick, man. I before we kind of continue the interview, we're gonna talk about some interesting things. You got 115 people watching, and you niggas know how we do over here on Negro Tube. Y'all get the likes up, okay? Because if y'all want me to drop one of these classic views on you motherfuckers later on tonight, you probably ain't gonna get it because I'm gonna go back to drinking. But let's get the likes on the video now. Super Sly don't like me to say that shit, but I'm gonna say it any goddamn way.
Hey, no, you converted me. I like it there, brother. I like it.
All right, like Simple to P, he said, break your motherfucking self for the likes. Nigga crazy. What up, Carlos? He said, break your motherfucking self for the likes. Yeah, pimp. So, break your motherfucking self for the likes. So break yourself for the likes, my man. Simple. And let's go get the likes up. And guys, let's do this. For those of you who have not subscribed to Supasly75, where the fuck have you been at all your life? So let me do this real quick. Let's get everybody into the description to subscribe to Supasly. Or what we can do is, for those of you watching after the interview, you can go ahead and subscribe them there. Or let's go into the chats and let's click on my man Supasly75. Let's link up with him. I believe you have an email. Somebody says Nick Satter WH444. Supersly, check your email. Okay.
Yeah, Nick. You know what, Nick? She light skinned and she troubled. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So that's what I'm saying about Nick.
And she gonna tell you to check your email right when you're on the interview. What up, my boy Ragu in the building? What's up? What you pimping? That's my homie, man. He younger than me, but he bigger than me, so he's the big homie because I can't whoop his ass. So that's what it is. One day I'm gonna get a pot, nigga, hit him in the ankles and run. But shout out to my homie, one of my best friends. We went to high school together and shit. He's still bigger than me too, but I've been doing push-ups, nigga. Just wait till I get back, motherfucker. But let's go back to this thing though. With the black YouTube thing, we've already been demonetized, and this is coming. Do you feel at some point that the black internet is going to just disappear? One day, gone. Everybody.
No.
Okay.
It's too many of us that, I mean, think about all the popular applications that have come down the pipe that they've given us, and we've taken to, and we've gravitated, and we've exploded and made cool to get into. Mm-hmm. They need us, whether people want to admit it or not, because we're the test market for everything. Everything new or different or weird, they give it to us first. And if we use it in droves, then it's like, okay, this will work. We're the guinea pigs for damn near everything.
Mm-hmm.
You
Okay.
know, I mean, just look at a lot of these companies. Their stock value before, when they test it out with urban markets, then after urban markets, the markets increase.
Mm-hmm.
Because we kind of solidify that if this shit is cool or not, if it works. Like, I mean, think about all the apps that come through, Snap and Instagram, and at one point Vine was through the roof with their numbers, and they got bought out. But we are the test market for everything, and it's just too many of us that are just now coming onto the internet also too, because as much as people we think is on YouTube, there's a whole bunch of people that have yet to really get on YouTube like that, and I think it's just too many of us to let it go. Like some of us will never be able to let it go. Like if we all say we're going over here, everyone go over here. There's gonna be too many of us that be like, nah, I'm cool. I'm gonna stay right here, even though they don't like us or they keep demonetizing our channels and striking our channels. There's too many of us that'll stick around for it.
Let me ask you something. Kind of get back to the economics of this, because what you said is black people in America, they are the test, the guinea pig, right? So if something works with black people, it's going to work with white people. Then it goes back to this argument. If we are the test dummies, why can't us in black YouTube, our black YouTubers or black people on the internet, why are we having such a tough time building an economy for our type of content when we are the test guinea pigs? Why do we have a big problem trying to capitalize on the market that is viable, that can grow?
It's happening in small pockets, but you got to think about as us as a collective. Mm-hmm. We can't even agree on one singular notion of anything. Mm-hmm. It's too many age-old beefs, and I mean, we even had issues with each other forever. Even when it comes to supporting black businesses, what do we always say? Oh, the service is terrible. And then what do the black businesses say? Well, they always want hookups. Mm-hmm. So there's a huge disconnect and schisms when it comes to how we view business, because we're not brought up, we're not taught business from our parents. Our parents don't have companies to leave us to run when it's time for us when we come into adulthood. We're not taught how to keep your credit score up. We're not taught about, trade lines. We're not taught about how bankruptcy works. These are things that they're taught, and, or sending kids to college. We send our kids to college to get a job. They send their kids to college to run businesses or create a business, or send their kids to college to get the networks, then leave school, then figure out what you want to do with the knowledge that you've learned, and then, do it that way. We're consumers. That's our biggest problem. We're too busy being consumers.
Okay, let me do this real quick, because what I'm going to do is I want to take the conversation up to another level. And I don't know if Ragu Green is in the building, but if he is, comment below. And guys, get the likes up on the video if we can. We have 116 watching and 63 people only like the video. So if we can do that, that'd be great. Let's hit on some points on what you're talking about. Think about black business. Some of the things that come to mind are service is terrible. I want the hookup. Lack of networking. After college or in college. And the inability to run a business. So these are just 4 things that you said that I wrote down, and we'll talk about these individually. Let's talk about YouTube and online. People don't understand that once you sign up with the AdSense partner program, mm-hmm. you are now an entrepreneur, whether you know it or not. Mm. You are not maybe not selling a product, but you're selling your opinion, and you get paid for that. So now you are technically in business. Okay. Now that YouTube is a business and we understand that, let's talk about the service is terrible. Do you feel that on the black side of YouTube, that black YouTubers give bad service or worse service than YouTubers who are white or non-black?
I will say service-wise, when it comes to interactions between the YouTube content creators and their subscribers, if there's a disagreement, very, very bad. Because it's one thing if a troll comes into your chat, but if someone legitimately has a disagreement with you, that person will, I mean, just talk so bad about them, call them everything but a child of God. You know, a lot of these YouTube content creators don't like to deviate from the norm. They like to stay in a lane, and this is it, with blinders on, and say, this is what I'm gonna talk about, and that's it. It's like it's weird, man. It's weird. It's weird. Some do it better than others, but I see a lot of brothers when there's a disagreement and someone legitimately has a disagreement, or they don't understand what the point of difference is, the host will get into them something fierce. And I mean, dog, I watched a stream, and literally for 30 minutes, he talked so bad about this dude, made fun of his beliefs, made fun of his religion, you know, basically called him a dummy, you know, and I mean, for 30 minutes, talked about this dude because he had a disagreement of a point of view, and made a video about it on top after the fact. And this is the type of service that you give people if they have a legitimate disagreement with you. You know, if someone's coming to you for a question, for clarity and for understanding, then it's your job to provide it for them, not to make them feel like a dummy or to call them names and disparage them and stuff. Then you're making it bad for the rest of us, because then they're gonna look at us as all in the same light. So yeah, a service is not the greatest. There's room for improvement.
Okay, let's go there here, because I've had because you know I get tired of getting trolled by some of these. I've cussed a great few people out in my chats. Usually I don't do it, but I'm guilty of this, so I gotta be transparent, because you know I definitely would cuss your ass out on the live stream for sure if you fuck with me. But we gotta talk about that, because this is important. Number one, the service is terrible. Now we're talking about this. We're talking about black business, and this is a black business. And net neutrality, you know, is Supasly75's prediction. Will hold firmly, then if the service is terrible, it's only going to decline your business. Now, again, I want to shout you out for introducing me to Sal. You know, I ended up doing an interview with him, right?
Yeah, I saved it. I downloaded it because a lot of gems he dropped in that one. That's one of my favorite interviews. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to improve my interviewing skills, man. Get my Howard Stern on, dog. You know. But let's get back to the and thank you for that you know for introducing me to that, brother. I want to exploit him, but the service is terrible. Now, we do not do a lot of interacting with our subscribers. I noticed over here on YouTube. Now, Ron Wills does an excellent job of that. I have a lot of times too many comments, so I don't really have time to go back and forth with everybody. But you know, a lot of people, when they look at subscribers, and their videos are being demonetized, and you have the same people that are there as a YouTuber. Some of these people are like, well, these niggas ain't paying me no money, so why the fuck am I going to interact with them? That's how a lot of black YouTubers think. And when you get a subscriber who is willing to comment on your video, and you're not willing to embrace this particular person as a potential customer or a potential person who can spread the word, it kills the growth. Do you think that black YouTubers really hurt their potential based off of the service part?
Yes, because a lot of them treat it as a hustle. Okay. And like, if that's your approach, is to get in and get out and make money off this, then yeah, it's not genuine, and it'll eventually, you know, come out in the wash. Like I don't do this for money, because I may average $100 a month. So what is that? You know, I get joy off, you know, actually, I think it's cool to interact with people, because you get to meet people from all types of walk of life, you know, especially from overseas. It's almost like it's almost like a privilege, because they don't have to come look at your channel. They don't have to interact with you. The fact that somebody would, you know, deem you cool enough to say, you know what, I want to see what he's talking about. I respect his opinion enough. I'll tune in every time to see what he has to say. Right. Like, that's in itself should be its own reward. Now, if, you know, they wish to donate, that's God bless them. But if your intent is not to help the people or serve the people in some form of fact, if they can't learn something from you, what are you doing this for? What are you on this for? And a lot of times I'm seeing people use the knowledge, they pimping the knowledge now. Now it's like, well, if you want some of this knowledge, I gotta charge you for this knowledge. It's like, I get it, but I get it. If you want to go the Black Preacher Man route, then by all means, but that's the stigma's there, that's just how I feel about it.
Okay, so we know that the service is terrible. So that's something, and that's something that I'm gonna basically work on a lot more. Not only with those who support on Patreon, because I got a video I got to do tonight actually, but this is a good point, and this is why we want to share best practices, because I could be a lot better on the service. I want to be transparent. I could be better on the comments, stuff like that. But on the live stream, if I'm drunk and you come in talking shit, I can't say that. I won't roast your motherfucking ass. So let's go back to the hookup part. And guys, do me a favor. We have 131 of you people in here watching right now. I really appreciate you guys. Give us 20 likes, okay? Put the collard green sandwiches down. Get your motherfucking ass over here and like the goddamn video. You know how we do over here on Nigga Flicks. So we need 20 more likes to get us to 100. We gotta get them likes up. All right. So let's get them up. We thank you for watching and enjoying the show. Let's talk about the hookup. In black businesses, Super Sly, niggas want the hookup all the time. This is what they want. We already know that the hookup is a very important part of maybe why black businesses are stressed. Now, to be fair, you can always be firm and tell a motherfucker no, and they don't necessarily get it. But the hookup mentality, how does that affect, do you think, the black subscribers and the black YouTube content creator?
And my take, it cheapens the value of the service you're providing, because if you don't deem it worth a certain price, then how can you expect a consumer to respect it? We don't question the value of a Gucci belt or a Gucci bag. We don't question Jordan. Every time he releases the same shoe every damn year, we don't question the price on that. Mm-hmm. You don't question the price on the Benz. You know what it is when you walk in the dealership? Pay the money. If not, there's a Hyundai down the street. Mm-hmm. If you don't feel the value in your work that you're putting out, the moment you start cutting corners or cutting back on it, everyone's going to seem like, well, he's giving me a discount because obviously he doesn't feel too strongly about the service he's providing. If you have a service and you stand firm on it, they're going to have to respect it. They may not buy in the beginning, but eventually they're going to be like, you know what, fuck, let me go see what you're talking about.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because I've heard a lot of some YouTubers, if they have, and I've heard quite a bit of YouTubers, say this. They'll make a video and they'll put, let's say, a price on it. Let's say the price is $1, and they want you to, if you buy that video, it's at $1, and you get it into your YouTube services or whatever. You'll have actually people complain about that. And shout out to Daryl Albert for the $5 super chat. We appreciate you, brother. God bless you. With a name like Daryl Albert, I know you a player. That's a pimp's name. I had a cousin named Daryl. He locked up though. All right, but let's get back to the show. The price, we'll see, people complaining that it's too high. Why is the cost so great? Why are you charging me this and that, for this particular video or something like that? What is your response when you hear, certain things, like, subscribers complaining about paid content, subscribers complaining about, paid services that the YouTuber may offer offline? Do you think that black creators like me and yourself, if we do have those things, do you feel that the subscribers complain about it too much, although they are getting a good amount of free content?
That's that could go either way. Because at one point I was thinking about doing the paid content, putting it behind a paywall, but then I thought about it, I was like, you know what? Nah, because I'm not that hard up for money. If I gotta make money this way by putting it, I get it. Everybody wants to be paid for the time and effort. I get it. I get it. But I don't know. Unless you're giving me something I've never known before. I don't know. Like for me to pay to watch your video. No disrespect to anybody.
Right.
There's not too many niggas on this channel, on this YouTube shit that know more than me about certain things. And I'll be damned if I pay somebody some money that I would deem not as enlightened as me. Now, say if Sal puts something behind the paywall, I pay Sal to watch because I'm gonna learn something out of that. Because Sal knows shit I don't know.
Right.
You know, if you put something behind the paywall, as opposed to like Black economics, how to navigate in Africa, I would pay for that because that's something I don't know.
Right.
But if you're gonna sit here and put some shit behind the paywall because how Black women do you wrong or how to no, Negro, please. Negro, please. There's no. And there's a lot of semi-fake smart YouTube niggas on here putting shit behind paywall. I would never pay for this. No. You know? No. And that's not no braggadocio shit, but no. I done seen too much in my day and age. And no, there's not, no. I'm just not gonna do it. I refuse. I refuse.
You know, I do agree, man. I think that a lot of guys that have quite a bit of us have the paywall things. I'm one of them. But I think like many YouTubers, again, they forget the power of free, and I think with net neutrality possibly going to affect the content. And again, let me do this real quick, but while we're all on, make sure you subscribe to Supasly75. And I'm going to say this for those of you who are watching this on the replay, go into the description and subscribe to Supasly75. And also, anybody who wants Donovan Sharp's new ebook, hey, Diana Powell, good to see you, baby. I'm going to come rub on your ankles. Drop your email here in the chat, right? If you're watching the replay, email me at planetoshay@gmail.com. That'll be in the description. We'll get the ebook to you. But all the Donovan Sharp's new ebook, I'm actually giving it away for free now, The Black Man's Revenge. Just drop your email in the chat. I'll get that to you right away. With the paywall again that we have, when you have so many YouTubers asking for money, why are to me, I'm like, let me give my stuff away more for free now. Because I know, net neutrality is coming. What do you think about YouTubers, when you know that a lot of people are doing the paid content, a lot of people are, doing, asking for money. Should brothers start looking at more things that they can create to give away for free to increase the value and the reputation of their channels?
Yeah, definitely. This is going to force a lot of people to step their shit up. And this is going to also... you're gonna see how heavily people fuck with you, once this thing hits. You're gonna see how hard your subscribers will ride for you. But this is definitely gonna, same thing with the AdSense wars. It forced people to step it up, or those fell by the wayside. So now this is the same thing here. You're gonna have to step it up, and you're gonna have to come with it. And I don't mean all the glitz and the glamour, all the fireworks and the bells and whistles. Your content has to be, what are you talking about at the end of the day? What are you bringing forth? What are you enlightening me with? What am I learning from you today? Fuck all the green screens. And I've seen a lot of people with green. That's great. And all the multi-angle cameras and shit. That's great. But what are you talking about? How are you helping me and navigate through life? Or what am I learning how to do something different I didn't know before watching your content? Mm-hmm. And, a lot of these guys are gonna feel the crunch.
That's a good point, and this is the reason why one of the things I'm creating right now is you guys see it on Patreon, the Negro Manosphere comic, and I'm gonna come out with the Just Us Niggas League. So if you want to be in that Super Slide, let me know. But let me do this. I have a question.
Yeah. Put me in there.
Just Us Niggas League. Anybody want to be in the Just Us Niggas League? Let us know. I have a person that just commented just now, Super Slide. He says, Ron Ibezaka, I don't know. It sounds like a Ibezayako. It sounds like a Igbo name from Nigeria. He says, we pay for internet. I'm not paying for anything else. That's cool. Get a real job and stop YouTube hustling. Okay, when you hear guys say stuff like this, what do you? I mean, they say like YouTube is not a real job. What do you feel when you hear somebody say something like this? Like YouTube is not a job, get a real job. When you hear somebody say that, what do you think? How do you take such a person?
I feel a whole host of emotions because I at one point was one of those guys saying the same thing. But then the more I got more busier with growing my channel, I'm like, wait a minute, I do put in time and effort and I do work. So that's a bit misleading, a bit disingenuous to say that because this stuff, if everyone could do it, they'd be doing it, period, point blank. It doesn't matter if you have to edit, chop, screw, all the stuff, render. If you could do this, you'd be doing it. So it's a little bit just disingenuous to sit here and say, well, get a job and do okay, but am I asking you for money? Or are you paying my bills?
Right.
So what part of what am I doing on my channel that bothers you so much? Do you think I have all this free time? Because I personally don't have no free time. My wife kicks my ass every fucking day because I don't spend time with her because I'm either at work, I'm either doing this, or I got my other business with the consultant stuff. So okay. And that takes time away from my daughter. So just get a job shit. I got too many things on my plate to be worried about how you feel because if you see me post a bunch of videos, you don't know when I shot these videos. And half the time I don't edit my videos. I just record and I put it up there and that's it. So I people need to see there's three sides to that coin, and I think it's too easy for people to sit here and say, well, get a job. But on the flip side, if all you see is someone's page with a bunch of fucking donation this and that, and you see PayPal, Patreon, Venmo and Cash App, like I'd be like, okay, well, goddamn, what, you know what I'm saying? So I see it both ways, but if everybody can do this, they be doing it.
Right. Right. I kind of just go back to the job thing because here's the thing. I kind of didn't take YouTube. When I started making content on YouTube, and again, I want to give a shout out to the brothers who just dropped their emails for the Real Albert and Tyrese. Check your emails, brothers, and subscribe to the Negro Manosphere. Okay. If you go into your email, hit the confirm button. What up, Aaron? Night. Good to see you in here. What up, Howard? I used to kind of feel the same way too when I was YouTubing. I didn't even have my AdSense program. I didn't think it was no money. I just was YouTubing until Wake the Hell Up told me like, hey, you should monetize your videos. And then, you can make money on YouTube. But why do you think a lot of people still don't feel like a lot of YouTubers, what they do is work? Why do you think, like before you became a YouTuber, why didn't you think that this was work?
Here's part of it, because if I go to a job I don't like and I'm underpaid at my job and I work long hours and I go to YouTube for relief, right? And I see, I see somebody on YouTube and they're on this all the time and I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? Like I go to work every day. I bust my ass, yada, yada, yada. I work. What you do is not work, right? If you're not on that side of the coin, then yeah, to the average person, probably wouldn't look like work to them. Man, that's a catch-22 because it can go either way. Especially if I know a lot of YouTubers that work, but then a couple of the YouTubers that don't work, I get it. If your sole means of income is donations, that's risky because over time, what happens if we all hit an economic recession? Then how are you going to survive? Then what? Because remember back in 2008 when the housing bubble hit, well, nobody, if you was doing a YouTube, you wouldn't get no money off, not donations wise, and all it takes is a one bad financial quarter, and people ain't gonna be like, I ain't got money to give this nigga. I got bills to pay. Babies is hungry. He talking about he want donations, nigga. Go get a job. Then you hear more. Go get a job, because I don't want to see you on YouTube 24/7, and we're in the recession.
Right. Right. So, and that's another thing too. Let's talk about and as you were saying there, the networks. What you told me is, and again, thank you for everybody liking the video and everything like that. You told me that Black people in businesses are in business one of the things that they lack is networking. And because people lack networking, what happens is, when they graduate college, a lot of blacks, you said, send their children or the teenagers to school to become employees instead of going to school, finding certain networks and networking from there and then building a business. How do you feel about, because we are YouTube, do YouTubers lack networking? And over here in Black YouTube, is there a lack of Black networking?
Some do, but for those that are on this side of the game, I think our networking is A1. Because think of how many guys you've exposed and you've connected through your channel. Mm-hmm. Because I've noticed certain YouTubers don't like to have people on their shows. I don't understand why. Like you see everywhere else, people collaborate on songs and TV shows and whatever the case may be. Why is it you just feel your channel is just for you by yourself? Like, I don't want to see you all the time. I want to see you mix it up. Bring somebody in that you find interesting. Why don't you interview them? Let me see what how you would respond to them. Mm-hmm. On the Oshay side on going this way, we're good. After this, on this side of the barometer, I don't see that as much. And like I said, it depends on who you follow too, as well, and who's in their circle.
Why do you think that the networking part of on this side of YouTube? Why do you think that it's beneficial? Because a lot of things that we don't, before I was on YouTube, I didn't see a lot of Black people networking on shows and stuff like this, and then it just something I've seen in a year and a half. Do you think that this kind of networking it will help create economies even on the internet as we have with our shows and stuff like that?
Yeah, it can only grow from here if we continue to support each other. Yeah, I mean, there's not a downside to it. You only have at this point you only have to gain. There's nothing to lose. Like I said, some of these guys, I've never seen not one guest on their stream at all, and I mean, like, we're talking about a couple of years now. Like, what makes you so special that you can't have anybody on your shit like that? Like that's our problem. Like, I would tell my daughter when she goes to school, I'm like, look, find out who these kids' parents are. Get in good with the kids. So when you do leave school, that's connect right there, because you don't know who's daddy, who mama, who do what. We don't teach our kids to do that. If you're gonna go to school, if you're gonna fuck off in school, cool. Fuck off 2 years, but goddamn, you better know everybody's mom and daddy, what they do in their profession.
Let me ask you this, because the networking in some aspects is a little bit bad. Why do you think some brothers don't do the networking? Why don't they do a lot of collaborations with brothers or work with other brothers? Why do you think Black men have a hard time doing that, or Black people on the side of YouTube?
Because there's a risk it would put them in a position of perceived weakness, right? Because we don't like reaching out. We don't like to make the first take the first step and say, hey, how do I go about working with you? Or, because either the person reaching out feels that he's inferior because he has to reach out to somebody, or the person on the receiving end may say, well, this nigga needs me because he's reaching out to me. So there's that schism once again. And some guys aren't people persons or people. Mm-hmm. They just don't get along with others. They don't play well with others. You can look at somebody's channel and see how many people they brought on their show. You can tell this motherfucker may not just get along with people just, like we think he does. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, a lot of us weren't brought up and groomed to how to reach out and connect with people and stuff like that. Some people just don't know how to talk to people, business etiquette, things of that nature.
Okay, so and one other thing is y'all talk about in Black YouTube that we have are creating business, running business. We as blacks don't know how to do that. Now, when we come to black YouTube, you know, everybody can create a channel. It's easy. You just got to have a Gmail account and create a channel. It's very simple to create a YouTube channel. But, you know, and on this internet business, do you feel that a lot of black men or content creators, we have a hard time creating certain markets for ourselves, are running the channel as a business? You know, you get paid and, you know, reinvested into the business. What's your take on blacks who are starting creating YouTube channels, coming into the YouTube environment, and even having a pretty good channel? Are they having trouble running their channels as viable businesses, in your opinion?
Yeah, because a lot of these guys, this is probably their first taste or experience of success. Mm-hmm. You know, not saying YouTube is the easiest thing to do, but it's not overtly complicated. But if you can do it successfully, a lot of these guys, this is the first time they're getting recognition, they're getting validation, they get a little check. Sometimes some of these guys don't know what to do with themselves. They've hit the lotto. This is their Michael Jackson Thriller moment. So then it's like, oh shit, I didn't think I'd get here. So what do I do next? So a lot of guys don't have the guidance to take it to the next level. They can't call somebody and say, hey, I'm doing this. I've reached this level. How do I get to the next level? So a lot of guys don't have that type of connection or a phone, someone in their phone that could call and say they don't have a mentor, you know, or, you know, maybe that's someone that specializes in finances, or a YouTube, you know, channel person that could help you grow your channel. So a lot of guys, this is their ceiling.
You said that a lot of guys, I want to go back to that again. You said a lot of guys have not been used to having any recognition. Let's talk about that because give a guy money and fame that's never had it before, it's a dangerous thing. Let's talk about that a little bit more, because I think what you're saying is a lot of guys that are coming in and being successful, they've never had any other success really in their life. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit more about these Michael Jackson Thriller moments real quick, because when a guy starts, you know, blowing up and getting success on here, and he's never had that kind of success before in anything, and now you're getting these $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 checks. What kind of position is this guy in now? Because you're getting the money, you got the AdSense big payday. Does this person have a hard time moving forward after you've been getting these couple checks? Some of these guys have been getting checks like this for years. I was only able to get that AdSense money, dog, for like 6 or 7 months. Some of these niggas got it for like 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. I don't call no names if I show. But how do these guys have a problem moving forward, man, in your opinion?
A lot of it I've seen, it could be self-sabotage. Like some people will actually fuck their own shit up out of fear of being successful, or, you know, taking it to the next level. We've seen that in our own communities where people would, you know, the star athlete would just fuck his shit up just because he was scared to take a risk, or he was scared of the potential within him to be successful. So a lot of these guys, you know, you get on YouTube and women get to hollering at you, dudes think you're cool on YouTube. When you get off YouTube, the glasses go back on, the pocket protector gets back on, you put on your fucking plaid shirt and your penny loafers and shit, and you go back out here and be a nobody. But on this motherfucker right here, you are somebody. And for some people, it's just too much. It's just too much. And some people just lack the capacity to take it to the next level out of whatever phobias and fears they may have that's maybe self-induced.
It's very interesting. Let's talk about the fear of being successful, because, you know, a person that's been moving around the country and looking for opportunities. I know you're originally from Chicago, right? Yeah. Chicago area?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about, like you said, a lot of these guys on YouTube have a fear of being successful. What do you really mean when you say that?
They look for excuses. So when the shit goes bad, they have an excuse. Mm-hmm. Or, you know, if they don't take a risk, they'll be like, well, it wasn't gonna work out anyway. Or what if it didn't work? Because a lot of these guys grew up in these homes that they weren't validated. They weren't told they were good enough. A lot of that plays a part into getting it and moving forward. That we're talking about a psychosis issue that has never been resolved for a lot of these guys and just people in general. But mainly our people.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
They fuck up their own shit. We've seen it. We know too many guys that had the talent, the looks, personality, and for whatever reason, just purposely kept making the wrong decisions and never put it together.
Do you think how do you feel about the fear of being successful? Do you think this is synonymous with the person lacking the networking because they're afraid to reach out because they don't want to actually, because being successful will be foreign to them? Is that why they don't want to reach out to other people?
Yes, that, and part of that is you're going to have to be held accountable if you want to be successful, and a lot of people don't want to be held accountable. We all want the rewards when it goes well, but when you fall on your face, we don't want that. We don't want to take that L. So I guess the fear of taking the L outweighs the reward of you being successful, and people use that as a crutch, use it as an excuse as to why they're stuck in a position in life that they're in. It's everybody else's fault but your own. Someone had a chance to take a job in another state and they didn't do it for whatever bullshit ass reason. We've seen it time and time again.
Okay. So that's a good point. And let me ask you this, because this is a really, really good interview. Were there anything else that you wanted to particularly cover tonight, or?
Not. Yeah, you already know where I'm going with this, bro.
Go ahead.
Yes, no. I'm seeing a lot of disingenuous brothers, and I don't think they're just being outwardly truthful with the people.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm seeing it from a different point of view, and I don't know what people's intentions are. But people that follow us, we have this leadership complex. We look for people to lead us in the right direction. Fine. It is what it is. We've always been that way. We're going to continue to be that way. For those that are in position to lead the people, God complex, ego, pride, hubris, whatever you want to call it, and then it turns into disingenuousness. Like, I'm just seeing that. I'm seeing a lot of it more and more, because this YouTube shit will blow your head up, and YouTube celebrity is like the new thing now. I mean, it's a real legit, thing. Like, someone noticed me from YouTube the other day. It freaked me the fuck out. I'm like, hold up, I ain't ready for this. I ain't ready for a hold up.
I really didn't deal with the shit.
It freaked me out, man. I'm not, like I said, I have no ego for that. I'm not into this to be walking down the street like, oh, that's slide. Let me get your autograph. Let me get in the picture. No, I'm cool. Thank you. No, thank you. That's not that. I'm not that serious. So.
Oh, they want to take a picture with you and shit.
Yeah, I'm good, dog. Like, I'm like, oh no. I had to drive around the block a couple of times to make sure he didn't, say motherfucker didn't know where I live. Like, I with his shit, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, man. And it's gonna be interesting because I haven't been home in a minute since I've been, popular. So I'm pretty sure some motherfuckers might notice me and shit. And hey, nigga,
you already know.
Oh shit! Don't be nigga. Hey, quiet down, motherfucker. Yeah, that's true. I even had people in Poland, man, that say, I noticed you from your channel and shit. I'm like, damn. We don't think about that, but how many people have noticed you out since you've been out and shit like that, man? Like,
so far, maybe 10.
10 people in front. Yeah. Well, no, sorry. Victorville.
Well, I'll say definitely 5 here, 2 in LA. And people back home are just now catching on onto my videos. I'm like, y'all late. I'm good. It's like, oh, I know you're on YouTube, man. Oh, you doing it like that? Oh, I'm like, yeah, no big deal. So
wow, dog. So people, they know you from the channel and shit. That's crazy.
But that's the scary part for me is they base their opinion off what they see off on YouTube. Like, yeah, I may have an opinion, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm this type of person. If you catch me on a bad day and I make a fucked up video, if you see me for the first time, that's your whole opinion of me. That's all you're going to think until you see something else different. So that for me is a little bit bothersome, because I don't want anyone to form an opinion based off of a particular video, especially if it's a a difficult subject for them to deal with or to listen to. So
Okay, that's interesting, man. Like, you know, yeah, I know motherfuckers gonna know who I am and shit, man.
You know.
Man, just put your motherfucking ass away from me, nigga. I'm about to be going to Walmart and shit at nighttime, but you know, hey nigga, what's up with your family? I see you in here, baby. But no, I'm just, be doing my thing. But anyways, man, I'm glad to have you on here, man, and everything like that. Is there anything else you want to let everybody know, man, about your channel and all that shit?
Nah, hopefully I'll be back off punishment of the main channel on January 15th. So I got some things in the works for that. Other than that, keep following the channels. I thank everybody for long time subscribers and the new subscribers. I'm thankful for everybody. So yeah.
All right. So anyways, man, I do thank you for the interview, man. Appreciate all of you brothers out there that have supported, not only, my channel, but Supasly75. Like I said, you can go into the description link and subscribe to his main channel, hit the bell on there. And we're just glad that you guys were able to tune into the show. Thank you for everybody who was on the podcast with us. Jay Miller Podcast, hit me up, man. I see Nick Morgan. We had some trolls in this bitch. Karan was going on. JB, Nick Satter, WH444, Drew Branch, Time Lord Osceola. All of you guys, man. Thank you so much for shouting us out. And peace out, man. Thanks again, Scott Sly.
Cool. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Peace.